what's up YouTube? You are watching Ready Set Drone, and I have to say today I'm very excited. I have, quite honestly, one of my very favorite YouTubers of all time here with me to talk about YouTube, about drones, and about all things cool in tech, because he is going to take over the world with world domination. His name's Farouk. He runs the channel called iPhonedo, and if you stick around, you're going to learn all about him. So stay tuned. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm super happy to have you here. We've had a chance to meet a couple of times, and I'm excited to have you on Ready Set Drone.
Thank you so much for having me. And you know, we met before, as you said, and it's always a pleasure.
So I think it was when we were in California, you and I were talking about how we got into doing YouTube, and I know my audience would love to know kind of how did you go from a normal job or a normal career into doing this for your full-time gig?
When iPhone came out, I started jailbreaking iPhones. And I was in Turkey, so I needed a website that when people search, because people would get iPhones in Turkey, but it wasn't being sold in Turkey, so they needed someone to unlock it and jailbreak it. So I prepared my website and tried to find some customers for a side income. And from that, I wanted to showcase how I unlocked the iPhones. Back in the very beginning, it was very difficult. You had to disassemble the phone and then go into it and then short circuit it. It's very complicated, but it was called Test Point 55. You can look it up. It was like Mission Impossible.
Okay.
And from that, I wanted to showcase like how I do it. So I decided to record some videos, and one thing led to another, and then that was Google Video back then, and then I started uploading to YouTube.
What year was that?
I think this was 2009 when I started uploading to YouTube. But I wanted to make fun of unboxing videos. So I uploaded a 13-minute video with a MacBook Pro box in front of me, and I just talked the entire video saying like, I'm gonna unbox it now. I think there's a MacBook in this. Like I milked it and I didn't unbox it. So a lot of people got really mad at me, but a lot of people really enjoyed someone that was trying to swim against the current. So they subscribed, and when they subscribed, I was like, I think this can become something. But back then there was no monetization, no nothing. And
this was all in Turkish at that time, right?
This was all in Turkish. But in time, the products got bigger. There was no income from YouTube. There was nothing. It was just me by myself. If a friend of ours comes to US and they buy something, I would review that before they go back. It was very difficult. And in 2014, I realized that I cannot keep on doing this. This is it. You know, I cannot afford to get a $3,000 laptop and make $100 in 3 months. You know.
And so that led to some music that you did, right? I mean, wasn't there a musical component and a big hit that you had?
Yes. So during that time, from 2009 to 2014, I was also preparing my own songs. I still prepare my own songs, but back then I was writing songs specifically for the products with goofy lyrics. And then at one point, my wife said, "I think you should put them all together, and we should put it on iTunes." And I didn't think it would become anything, but we did. And the next day, so the album goes live. The next day we wake up. This is iTunes Turkey. It's #1.
Wow. Wow. They were starved for content, right? They wanted stuff.
Oh my God. So every major artist, like imagine the Justin Timberlake of Turkey. imagine Katy Perry of Turkey. All those artists were at number 2, 3, 4. And I was anonymous back then too. I was anonymous too. So it was out of nowhere, even for me.
So you were number 1 in Turkey. Was there any money in that, by the way? Did that make you any money?
That kind of allowed me to build my home music studio. When I say it like that, it sounds like a very, very big deal. But I have this 2 speakers and sound isolation, and that's it, and microphones. But I already had the microphones, so it allowed me to get the sound isolation is very expensive.
Yeah,
it allowed
sure.
me to get that, and yeah, so it was nice.
Does the album still sell?
Yes, I think so. Now, of course, I get very, very little. This is from
there was
years
that
and years
big
ago.
crest, and then it kind of went down.
Oh yeah, yeah. My songs were about, they were very high quality songs about going to the bathroom with iPad.
Have you ever heard this joke? I wish there was an app where I could tell when my friends were on the toilet. Oh, wait a minute. It's called Words with Friends.
Oh yeah. So that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Very true. So you put out this album, and you obviously had the following in Turkish. When did your channel switch over to English?
It was 2014 when one day, it was actually, I was going through my analytics and I realized, no, this is it. And I was thinking about telling them that I am done with this. I'm gonna concentrate because I'm a married man. That I cannot spare 6 days of my week for something that is, that's not helping me take care of my family. So I was thinking about that, but then I read a comment that said, if you did this in English, it would be so much better.
You should go back and find who had that comment and like do something special for them now that you're kind of on the rise, right? Maybe they changed your life.
Yes, and yeah, I think
As a matter of fact,
have a
I think that was me.
Somewhere. Yeah,
was
I think it was you.
It Texas 32? Was that the comment from Texas 32?
Exactly.
I said, hey, you hippie, get a haircut, and by the way, do this in English.
We could always go back to a comment from 2014 and right-click on it and then change the source.
That's right. That's right. So you're now at what? About 500,000 subscribers?
I'm coming close to 500,000 now.
Are you going to do something at 500,000? Do you have a crazy stunt planned? Are you going to, go jump off a bungee bridge or something?
I want Terry Crews to. I want to dance with Terry Crews. So every time I hit a number, I was sharing a screen capture from a GIF from Terry Crews. So he has a very significant place on my channel, at least for me. And I like his attitude a lot. And he's very positive. He's all about being nice. And so I always joke about Terry Crews. I know it's not, it's not something that's going to happen, But
you also had an opportunity to do some work with iJustine using the boring company Blasters. Tell me a little bit about that experience. So
we realized we bought it. I met iJustine at the Sony Kondo trip, and then she texted me, said, do you have one? Did you order one? And I said, yes. And then we realized we're going to the same thing to pick it up at the same time. So we decided to do, a video together. But that pickup party, it was called a pickup party. So you go there, they teach you how to use it because it's not a toy.
Right. Oh,
and
yeah, of course, it's not a toy.
When it was our turn to try it out, the propane tank was empty, but they were really in a hurry, probably, if you wanna say it nicely. I think they were in a hurry, so we didn't really get to test it. We didn't really understand it. Anyway, we grabbed them and then we went to her house, and then we walked into her yard and we started playing with it, and it's. I'm so surprised there are zero news about flamethrower accidents. So
Yeah,
I don't know how that happened.
The video too, it doesn't look like her backyard is very big, or her patio, or wherever you were. I mean, it doesn't look like a very big space to be blasting flamethrowers.
So yeah, in the video, it looks very different than what it was to be there. When you're there, you see how much space you have, and everything is nicely safe as much as we can do. But in the video, everything looked really close to each other. One thing that really scared us, every time you turn it on, it behaved differently. So a lot of people said, what is wrong with me or her in the video? But the entire video, we were thinking this may be it.
You were actually scared. You were actually afraid.
We were very scared. There was no two times like you set it on fire and it behaved the same. And there was actually one time when we did the popcorns. Once we're done, it didn't turn off because the valve was frozen, so we weren't able to. So we just held it in our hands, and
it's just shooting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty scary. Well, so another product that I know you tested and had a pretty big influence over was the GoPro Karma. Now, GoPro has really come a long way since then with the Hero 7, right? The Hero 7 Black, I think it's a great product personally. It for what it is, for a sports camera with stabilization. But tell me a little bit about. Are you willing to talk about the Karma and your, the things that got you in a little bit of hot water with that?
Yeah, of course. When I got the Karma, and then I was flying it around, and I realized how bad it is. There was nothing else I can say about it. It was just super bad. Everything about it was bad. And at that time, I was flying a lot of different drones from different brands. So I thought I had a scale of understanding of what's good and bad. But this was beyond everything I've ever flown. And it was behaving, it was really bad. And so I didn't know how to review it. I know everyone loved GoPro. There are people that are obsessed with GoPro that you don't want to upset them, but this is what it is.
And I also thought that the Karma Grip was actually a pretty good little device. Did you ever use the Karma Grip?
Karma Grip is really good, especially with Hero 7 with the slow motion capabilities it has. I was running like a crazy person, circling around my wife while she was running, and the footage looks ridiculously smooth. It ruins the audio because it makes its own noise, and the Heroes still have that muffled weird sound for the water resistance. It gets amplified a little bit with the Karma handle, but it is really good.
How do you think the Karma Grip compares to just the digital stabilization of the 7 Black?
So the digital stabilization is fantastic. It's really good, but when there's light, when it's dark, you completely lose it because it cannot compensate. It cannot keep up with what's going on. So you see trails and everything gets blurry. So it is really good when you're outside during daytime, but in the end, it's electronic. Nothing can beat a gimbal.
That kind of leads us nicely into the new little toy that you've had for a while, the Osmo Pocket. What do you think about the Osmo Pocket?
I wanna the entire CES, if they can ship the microphone thing, the microphone input, so I can have a lavalier connected, because in CES it is so loud I cannot use its own microphones. So if I can have that, that's all I want to go with. I want to bring my phone, just the Osmo Pocket, and do the entire CES with those two, because it's really. It's amazing how much it can do. The only thing I realized, and I mentioned it in my video, you definitely need an ND filter during daytime.
Right. Yeah. Otherwise, everything looks a little blown out.
Yeah. You can't have anything close to 180 shutter. So even though it's stabilizing, the footage is so sharp and the shutter is so fast that it doesn't look good. So That's the only thing you should definitely have when you're under direct sunlight.
So do you go to things like CES and product launches? I mean, is that part of your job on a daily basis? Do you consider that to be part of what you do?
I love going to CES. CES is an amusement park for people like us.
For sure.
Your brain just cannot take anymore. Towards the end, you just walk by the greatest things ever and you don't care. You walk by a drone that carries people and you feel like,
yeah, you can't take any more. I can't absorb any more coolness. Yeah. There's too much.
you feel like, I don't care anymore. I don't care.
Tell me a little bit about how getting close to 500,000 subscribers. And I feel like, I'll be honest, Farouk, I feel like you're one of those people, and I see this in the comments on your site all the time, that is a bit overlooked. You're way more talented than a lot of people with way more subscribers, and I feel like you're poised to really, really kind of blow up in a good way. What opportunities and doors has that opened for you as a YouTuber?
Well, thank you so much for your nice words, by the way. That means a lot.
Very sincere.
I think when someone discovers the channel, I want them, if they decide to watch a second video, I want them to have same kind of experience and just become a subscriber. I don't want to try to ask people to subscribe. I don't want anything inorganic, because then you don't know, you're not really being followed by people who wants to follow you. So when that time comes, I feel like it's gonna be really good. But at the same time, it puts some sort of pressure to you, because you have to know what you're talking about. For example, Apple Watch has ECG in it. Now you have to know about ECG to review the ECG. So everything opens a new door, and then you have to learn what you're talking about. And then that's actually kind of what I see all the time from very big channels, that there are sometimes major, sometimes minor things that they don't know how to use the product, and they just release an unfortunate review. But luckily, YouTube is such a great community that there's you, there's me, there's other people who really tries to make the products work and then decide what it can or cannot do. So it finds a nice balance.
I have to tell you a quick funny story. So yeah, you recall the Mavic 2 launch, and great time meeting with you and getting to know you a little bit in California. And then you didn't go to New York, but I did. And yeah. My son went with me, and we went to the launch and had a great time. And afterward, I called you and we talked for a little bit, and then we got in the cab and we were riding back over to Manhattan, and I hit the play button on your video to watch it. My son watches like 30 seconds and he pauses it and says, "Dad, he just blew you out of the water." And I was like, okay, yes, different style altogether. but I love the style of what you do on those things, and how you when you and your wife had the drones dancing, that was just so brilliant. You have the two of them doing. Remember, you had them out doing a little dance on the table. I must have rewound that like 5 times.
I think so. That was very unnecessary thing, and that was the first thing I thought that's going to be in the video. That's yes. Definitely. We're totally having a dance off, because that's how it started with the first Mavic Pro.
YouTuber is probably one of the top career aspirations of a lot of kids today, and a lot of older people too. I've been asked by several of my kids' parents and my wife's friends and some of my friends, hey, I want to start a YouTube channel. How do you do that? Without getting into the mechanics, what do you think the secret sauce is?
So the thing about YouTube is you cannot lie. You cannot make something up. It can be your experience. You can be more capable of using a product better than someone else. Just like driving a car. You can drive a car faster, and you say, this goes around this track in 1 minute and 10 seconds, and someone else may not go that fast. Everyone knows that doesn't matter. When you buy a camera, you may take a better photo than the other person. So when when you lie about something, the next person is the next reviewer is the controlling group. So never lie, never ever lie. You can make mistakes, that is totally fine. You can misuse the product, that is totally fine. But if you don't keep that line between an advertisement and what we do, then I think you're gonna get eliminated.
So in terms of, let's talk a little bit more about drones. What is your favorite drone to fly?
Well, right now, Mavic 2 Pro is I just love it. I think it's on average. I mean, Phantom 4 Pro is capable of shooting 4K 60 frames per second, which is something I'm in love with, because then you can slow it down. And Mavic 2 Pro cannot do it, but still, with all the portability, the speed, everything about it is so nicely fine-tuned that by far it's my favorite drone right now.
So, you know, unless you know some secret I don't know, do you think there will be a Phantom 5?
Maybe. I don't know any secrets, by the way, but like, what's the purpose of Phantom 5 right now? It's kind of.
I totally agree. I totally agree. I feel like who wants to go when you can go as small as a Mavic and get, you know, 90% or 100% of the quality. You know, I'd put more time into the gimbal and the camera on the Mavic and more flight time and, you know, more features versus trying to build another big one. And if you really want to go that route, go the Inspire, right? If you want to have a big camera with a DSLR or you know, some sort of FLIR or thermal camera, go Inspire. You know, that's my thought.
That's how I feel too, because once you're getting into that size, just carry if you can Inspire 2. But maybe something that has the Inspire 2 and Phantom capable, maybe it's gonna, I don't know, gonna get smaller like Phantom 4, but it's gonna be as useful as Inspire. But Inspire, as you know, is a different world.
Yeah, yeah, it's quite honestly, it's more than I need most of the time, and it's the hassle factor of it. You know, the to get it out and set it up, and you know, just great. It's great if you're on a Hollywood movie set or a commercial set or something like that. But if you're just taking pictures for YouTube or video for YouTube or doing something for fun or doing real estate stuff, you don't need it.
You don't need it. No, it's totally very professional.
Overkill. Yeah. So, what's your favorite video game currently?
Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man. I've been playing Spider-Man a lot. I got Red Dead Redemption, and I think it was the 5th time or the 6th time I realized I woke up, and my character and horse was trying to walk through. So what I'm trying to say is I fall asleep playing that game. I don't know. Just didn't happen. But it can be bad timing.
It's a beautiful
too.
game. It's a beautiful game, though. I mean, just the graphics are just astounding.
Everything is unbelievable in that game. Everything is more than I can ask for.
Somebody told me that in the game, and I don't know if this is true or not, but somebody, and maybe we'll get a comment on this, I'll bet we'll get lots of comments on this, that in the game, when it's cold out and you're with your horse's nuts actually shrivel up a little bit. Have you heard that?
No, but I believe it. I believe it.
That's the level of detail.
This is what did it for me. So I've been falling asleep constantly playing that game. But it kind of made sense because when it came out, there were one video after the other that I had to work, and I was barely sleeping. I was constantly working. But I punched my horse, and the horse started running away. And I chased the horse. I'm like, no, I didn't. I was just trying to get something from this. Like, no, I didn't. I think that did it for me.
Yeah,
I feel so guilty punching a 0010 horse.
Well, you know, maybe his nuts just shriveled up and he took off. And Well, in terms of stuff you're going to be doing coming up, what do you have? What's on the iPhonedo docket for the next little while?
Now until 2019, I want to take it really slow. Maybe have one what I think about 2018 kind of video, and on 2019 it's always the first week is CES, but I don't want to release 10 different videos about CES. Maybe one overall video about it, and then I want to make more. I call them the reviews, the bigger reviews with the intro and everything.
Yeah.
I want
the dubstep music.
I want to make more of those, but at the same time, I want to be able to release a review which I want to call one-day reviews. For example, the Philips Hue lights that I reviewed, there's nothing too much to talk about it. You set them up, you light them up, and then that's it. So I want to find products like that and have one-day reviews as well.
So, Farouk, man, thank you so much for taking the time here. I really appreciate it, and I want to say that again, I feel like you're poised to do amazing things. I'm sure you know that, and I'm sure you hear that all the time, but how can people find out more about you?
They can find me on Twitter. It's Twitter at iPhonedo, and they can find me on YouTube, of course. It's youtube.com/iPhonedo. It's like Nintendo, but iPhonedo with the word iPhone. And
Instagram. You got a great Instagram account as well.
Yes, but on the Instagram, someone squatted my username, so it's different.
So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this interview. If you want to learn more about iPhonedo, go check out all of his social media properties. And of course, if you want to see more great interviews, learn more about drones, and learn more about YouTube, please subscribe to Ready, Set, Drone. We'll see you next time. And what do you always say?
Hoşça kalın.